Okay guys, so are you guys clear about the grading policy for this course? सबको मालूम है ना? हाँ? Just 30% is what? Your final project, that is your SRAM. Then 30% is your midterm. I have to still conduct it, but there will be one written exam for this course. Syllabus will be up till SRAM, whatever I have covered initially. Okay, we are just getting a hang of the logistics, how we have to put 70 people. The minute I put one batch, the exam will be out in the open. Y'all are well connected that way. And if I conduct the exam here, you'll make a parliament out of it. Correct. So that's not happening. So 30% midterm and 20% will be your labs. Okay. Now 10% will be your attendance plus TA variable. 10% is in TA's hands. TA will decide based on your performance in labs, how you've done, whether you've done it seriously or not. But don't worry, no nepotism will work there. I have a good hang of who's who. So in case the TA really decides to be kind to you, I'll be reviewing that score very closely. Okay, now this component here especially, how many of you all have given an exam that I have set? Please ask these guys how the exams are. Okay, it will force you to think. Number 2, your project is 30%. Let's say the person with the best area delay product, that is the performance metric. Correct? I am explaining again. Let's say the area delay product is 100. So that person with the best lowest area delay product will get 30%. Anybody within 10% of this 100, let's say up till 110, I have not yet decided that curve. Anybody up till 110 will get the same. But as this starts to increase, 110 and more, this will start to drop. So it's not only important to get your project to work, but also to spend time with your project to get a good performance metric. So Harsh, you that you've not yet started, I would suggest that you get your thing together. Okay, and other people as well. My request would be, please do it. Okay, now say you submit a non-working design. You submit a non-working design, the max you will get is 10%. Like layout banani hai. So you have been given a working schematic, yes or no? The full SRAM design is working, yes or no? You all have tested the schematic and seen, yes or no? 8 reads and 8 writes. Yes. So you have been given a working schematic. Your job is to make you know what you have to do. Now God forbid if you submit a non-working design, just for your idea, 90 to 100% on your total course is an A, 85 to 90 is a B, a plus, sorry, A minus, my mistake, A minus, 80 to 85 is a B plus, 75 to 80 is B. That's how it's going to go. So if you submit a non-working design, you are already out of this range, you are out of this range. So the best you will do on this course is a B. And forget taking a reco from me. My recos go out to this or at best this. I'm telling you straight up. My rules were very clear even on the first day when I instructed you all, just reminding you all still have time. This has not been done, this has not been done yet. This I'm sure all of you all have submitted. This I'm sure Mansi will not be too sticky about it. Correct. So you still have enough to gain or enough to lose. Am I clear? $60, $80, $90. Okay, sorry, my mistake. What was Ganesh? Do we have another 10% for? No, one second, hold. No, this is 30%. My mistake. Sorry, I made a mistake. My mistake. 30%. 30% will be your labs. Now, you have an extra credit assignment called your carry look ahead adder. That will be carry look ahead adder with the pad frame. It will be carry look ahead adder with the pad frame. That was supposedly due on the 3rd of April. I am extending that to the 10th of April. That is due on the 10th of April. So you have a good 10 days after your SRAM project to do your extra credit assignment. How many credits extra you will get, that's a final decision we will make. Okay. But there you have to do a comparative study of the worst case delay between your carry look ahead adder and your ripple carry adder. I think that's already, I've done that on one of the lectures, how to do that you're supposed to remember. Are we clear about these things? Okay. By the way, congratulate Jagir on getting a full-time placement at Automata Systems. So that's good. Keep it up. So, and also the Bhavik also got through, right? Usko bhi diya instruction, usko information diya kya isne? But Amit told you he selected Bhavik also, right? Or he did not? Okay, wait. Then wait. But you got your confirmation, right? Great. Awesome. Now let's get to today's order of business. Okay, guys. So first let's understand pad frame. Then we look at parasitics. First we look at pad frame, then we look at parasitics. Why pad frame is needed, issues with pad frame, how we solve them. Then the issue of parasitics, you can't solve parasitics issue, it's always there. How do you work around it? Understood, yes or no? I think till now in VLSI we've understood that the minute you gain something, it comes with its own set of issues. That has been, that nothing is, everything is not beneficial in VLSI. Alright, now, so you guys have made a layout, correct? Yes or no? So a typical layout will be what? Let's take an inverter layout, that you have your first VDD, correct? Yes or no? Then you have your ground, you make your poly, then let's say you have another output here, correct? Yes or no? Then you will have your PMOS, you'll have your, I'm drawing a very rough diagram, don't catch me on my artistic skills. Now, then you have your input and a contact like this, yes or no? This is what your typical layout looks like. Now, you'll have your connection one like this, correct? Yes or no? And then another connection like this, correct? This goes here, this goes here. This is what your typical inverter looks like. If my input is 0, output is 1, input is 1, output is 0. It just inverts. We are all okay with that? Now, let me ask you a few basic questions. What is the dimension of this contact? 2 lambda? 3 lambda? Or let's say, just for safety's sake, I'm saying it's 1 micron. Lambda in our technology is what? 300 nanometers, yes or no? 3 lambda would be 900 nanometers, which is 0.9 microns, yes or no? Correct? Hence I'm saying 1 micron. Just to be for uniformity, this is also, it's 1 micron by 1 micron. Similarly, what's your VDD? VDD is your power supply. This is your ground. You need both VDD and ground? Okay. What is this dimension? 3 lambda. Again, 0.9 micron. 3 lambda in our design, particular technology, what is lambda? 300 nanometer. So 3 lambda. So again, let me say 1 micron, just for simplicity's sake. Okay. Now, here, if I say this is 1 micron as well. Now let's say Harsh, okay, he decides to make a chip. He designs this layout beautifully, like your SRAM chip. Designs it, great design, perfect layout, performance wise it's phenomenal, everything is fine. Decides to submit it to the fab company. The fab company fabricates the chip and brings it back. Harsh is sitting in the with the microscope in and is looking at the microscope. He can see the layout, the fabricated aspects, he'll see the metal layers, correct? Yes or no? Because the diffusion is underneath in the wafer, correct? Now, he wants to test the chip. Harsh wants to test the chip. Obviously, you have to test it, correct? Yes or no? How do you test? By giving inputs. So you will give your supply voltage 5 volts. Then you'll give ground here, correct? And you'll connect one input here. What is the what is the smallest dimension of your wire? जो बाहर से आएगा. 1 millimeter. Anything more, it will be. I mean, try looking at it with your. You do understand the issue. Now, Connect a 1 millimeter to a 1 micron connection. Try connecting your VDD wire, which is 1 millimeter, to this, which is 1 micrometer. It's a 1000 order difference, yes or no? Understand the issue. Your circuitry, what is the dimensions of, what are the dimensions of your circuitry? Micrometers, yes or no? Whereas the realistic connections in the outside world are in millimeters. Minimum millimeters, huh, boss? Minimum millimeters. Some wires are thick enough, जैसे your CRO wire, that is in centimeter. Try, good luck connecting a centimeter wire to a micrometer connection. You do understand that, right? So, I have to create some junction or some point. Understand my statement very carefully. I have to create some junction or some point where a millimeter wire and a micrometer wire can come and talk to each other, yes or no? Is everybody following this point? We need to understand why do we need it. You understand the size difference, right? Is there a way to solve it? There are only two ways to solve it. Either you do something about it or you run away from it. Correct? Can we run away from it? No. How do we solve it? We have to create that junction point, yes or no? That junction point is called as a pad. Have you heard of this term helipad? What is pad? When a helicopter comes and sits. Similarly, a pad is where your millimeter wire can come and sit here. Sit means you will solder it or you will bond it. Correct? You know your single strand wires. Have you ever soldered a PCB ever? You need that much slot, right? What if I give you a millimeter 1 millimeter slot to solder a single strand wire? I'm not even talking micrometers yet. I'm talking millimeters. Will you be able to do it? No, think about it. Will you be able to do it? No. So what you will say? Sir, give me a slightly bigger spot. Correct? Yes or no? Same thing here. That's the same issue. That I need a bigger slot. So, let's say if I take a 1.5 mm by 1.5 mm pad, I can easily solder a 1 mm wire on it. Yes. You can't solder on a chip. You will bond it on a chip. Because then you need a soldering iron, which is 1 millimeter nib also. So there are advanced technologies to bond the wire. Just FYI. One trick question in a VLSI interview will be, chalo pad lagaya. Okay, you put a pad. Now will I solder it here? The logical question is, sir, to create a soldering iron with a 1 millimeter nib will be tricky. So we bond it. There are bonding techniques, which is an advanced concept, but you should know. The wires are bonded. They are not soldered. You guys in all your glory in an interview will openly answer, sir, solder ho jayega. Why? Because you have to give an answer, right? But remember what I always say, half knowledge is dangerous. Remember that. Okay. If you don't know it, just say you don't know it. Based on your interview, you will say that, right? Yes or no? Right. Crazy interview, right? Must is because you knew the knowledge. You knew how the other guys were faring, right? Anyways, right. Okay. Now, so you understood the need. What is the issue? The difference in dimensions, yes or no? How do we solve that problem? We use something called as a pad. So you'll have your 1 mm connection coming and sitting here. Have you seen the size difference between that, your actual circuitry and the pad? You all did the lab, right? Yes or no? You saw that size difference? It's literally, it is substantial. That's exactly why, right? Because your outside connection and the inside connection, there is a huge difference. So now you need a connection like this. So issue number 1 is what? Size difference. How do we solve that? Using a pad. Now this is a solution. Now this solution with it will bring another problem. This solution with it will bring another problem. Problem number 2. I have this pad. Compared to that, my inverter looks like this. This is the size difference. What is this pad? It is some metallic connection. Either it is a metallic connection. Listen to my statement very carefully. Either it is a metallic connection or a highly diffused, highly doped diffusion. Yes or no? I just pump it with N plus na electrons. That will also be highly conductive, yes or no? Right? So it's either a metallic layer or Mansi, what are the current pads? Where is Mansi? Mansi is there? Huh? What layers are you putting in the current pads? Huh? नहीं जो नॉन ESD पैड में कौन सा लेयर्स है? हाँ 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 पैसिवेशन एंड मेटल कॉन्टैक्ट. सो यू नीड अ मेटल कॉन्टैक्ट, करेक्ट. सो नीचे एक हाईली डिफ्यूजन लेयर और ऊपर से एक मेटल कॉन्टैक्ट. ओके, सो मॉरल ऑफ द स्टोरी, इट्स अ कंडक्टिंग लेयर, करेक्ट, यस और नो? So finally it will form a capacitance with some layer, yes or no? Capacitance मतलब बाल्टी हो गया ना. It's that bucket which you have to keep filling until you don't fill it. Will that node charge or no? Or will it discharge or no? No. So this will present its own C load, correct, yes or no? This dimension here, if I just expand this inverter here, this dimension is what? At best microns. This is what? Millimeter. If I connect this here, obviously, which I have to, do you think this small fellow here will be able to handle the load here? Probably the rise time or the time taken for this voltage to rise, the minimum unit will be seconds. The minimum unit will be seconds, which is actually when you compare it to nanoseconds, it is days. You understand that, right? Probably it will be a day. You understand the ratio, right? I'm not saying it will take days for it to rise, but where your minimum reference point is nanoseconds. Seconds is definitely much higher. 1 giga times. नैनो के नीचे माइक्रो, माइक्रो के नीचे मिली, मिली के नीचे सेकंड, सॉरी ऊपर. Understood, yes or no? So you got to understand this. Now there is an issue. This is a serious issue, yes or no? Now you guys as hotshot engineers will say, sir, my rise time is 2.5 nanosecond, my fall time is 2.5 nanoseconds. Great. I said, have you connected pad? Like, no sir, please connect pad. Then you see the difference. I might be exaggerating this to be seconds, just to give you an idea, but even if it's milliseconds, is it good or bad? Forget it. Even if it's microseconds, is it good or bad? Bad. Because it's 1000 times more, yaar. I just exaggerated when I said seconds, but if you might evaluate, you might get an answer in microseconds. You might. Do you understand the issue? First, what was the problem that we had? A difference in dimension, correct, yes or no? Now that difference in dimension, how did we solve it? We said, let's put a pad. That's a logical answer. Now the issue with pad came the issue of loading. You all are all aware of loading, correct? We've done the lab where if you keep increasing the load, the time taken to charge that node will increase, yes or no? So now what's the solution for that? Well, she already covered it, but the next logical solution is you'll say, sir, increase the size of the inverter. So what finally you'll arrive at? An inverter whose dimension is in millimeters or very high micrometers, correct, yes or no? You'll say size this fellow up, okay? But can we do that? No, right? So what we do is, rather than doing this, we say, okay, I present to you, I'm talking to the inverter, I'm talking to this guy, I am presenting to you somebody ahead of you whom you can manage. Then I'm telling this fellow, I'm presenting to you somebody whom you can manage. Then I'm presenting to you somebody whom you can manage, correct? Up till you reach the pad frame. Understood, yes or no? This in VLSI language is called a buffer chain. See, a buffer is basically what? This is an inverter, somebody who inverts. If I put another inverter in front of an inverter, it's going to give me the same thing, yes or no? That we call as buffer. When I use multiple buffers together, it's called as a buffer chain. Now you might argue as a counter saying, sir, but this buffer chain will bring its own delay. Correct? Let me give you an example. You want to send a courier. One is courier by road, one is courier by flight. You want to send a courier to Delhi. I give you an option, you send the courier by road. You know how long it takes to drive to Delhi? Minimum 1 day. Minimum. Okay, minimum. I'm saying give or take. You'll have some break. You won't be driving continuously. You won't have the human or you won't have the car. Either of the two. Okay, so you're considering a break. And I give you an option. I'm sending it through flight from here to Nagpur, Nagpur to Bhopal, Bhopal to Agra, Agra to Delhi. Agra doesn't have an airport. Sorry, Bhopal to Jaipur, Jaipur to Delhi. Which one would you still send by? Flight. Because even all of this put together, maximum is 8 hours. This is that same example. I'm giving a completely different reference point. But did you understand this? See, this guy to this guy, still his rise and fall will be same as this fellow. So you maintain this guy's rise and fall still same. Maintain the rise. You can size it to get the same rise and fall, yes or no? You know how to do that sizing, correct? Yes or no? Same thing here. So the final rise and fall here is the same what you get here. Correct? So this might still be from here till here, let's say will be, instead of 3 nanoseconds, you might get a delay of 15 nanoseconds. I'm throwing numbers in the air. Okay. But still it's better than getting, let's say, 50 nanoseconds, na? Which is your initial rise and fall time. You understood that, yes or no? Is this point clear? Because what I'll tell you, these are typical interview questions. That you say, okay, you connect the pad. You'll like, what's the issue of the pad? You'll be like, okay, there's loading. How do you solve the loading? You'll say, I'll put a buffer chain. You say, but buffer chain will bring its delay. You say, sir, but it's still better than what you will finally get in terms of 10% to 90%. Understood? Yes or no? Any questions till now? What is the first thing? Size difference. How did we solve it? Pad. Loading. How did we solve it? Okay. Then came the delay. Is the delay a bad thing or a good thing? It's a tolerable thing. It's a tolerable thing. We have to tolerate it. I don't know if there's a word in English called tolerable. Hai kya? Is there a word in English called tolerable? Hai? Okay, fine. My GRE, my vocab was very bad. I forget it. Let's not even get there. All right. The irony is the English is good, but vocab is bad. Okay. Now, is this clear till here? Any questions? Now we'll move on to another point. Let me ask you a question that till now in winter, have you ever rubbed wool and then shaken hands with somebody? Correct. You get a decent shock. Sometimes it gives a sound also, like pat karke, it gives a static noise. Have you ever Googled? Sometimes Google and see what's the value of that voltage. Just go and see. It's minimum 1 kilo. It's 1,000 volts. The human body can generate up to 1,000 volts. Volts, not current. Please understand that. The reason you have to understand that voltage comes with a partner called as current and a third person called as resistance. So it's 1,000 volts. You can generate 1,000 volts. Correct. So from that point of view, you do have serious potential in you to create damage to an electronic circuit. Why? Because my chip here, inside I have an inverter. I connected this pad frame, correct? Yes or no? Assuming I've done all the buffers and everything, okay? Currently assume that there is a buffer, so this is your pad frame, correct? Yes or no? This is your inverter. What is the VDD for this? Currently you are using 5 volts. The supply is 5 volts. Let's say this PMOS inside here, this PMOS sitting inside here, at best can survive 10 volts. or the NMOS at best can survive 10 volts, 15 volts. उससे ज़्यादा तो नहीं होगा ना? Now think of this. What is your NMOS? Like this. When you apply a positive voltage, electrons will jump towards the gate, yes or no? We know how that works. Correct? Now let's say this fellow sitting inside here gets to see 100 volts. I'm not even saying 1000. Correct? These electrons will punch through the gate, yes or no? It is literally in those super hero movies that guy puts the hand through the wall and pulls that guy out, right? Correct. That's literally what's happening here. You're taking the electron and you're pulling that guy so hard that it's going to break through your... So why is there damage in the human body when you get an electric shock? Because the potential is so high, it's causing your body to conduct where your body is not a perfect conductor. So electrons have to move, moving through your cells, and they cause damage in your cells. That is why you get damage. कभी सोचा नहीं ना इस एंगल से, आज बोल रहा हूँ. That your body is trying to act like a perfect conductor, but it's not. See, that's why when there is heavy potential, it's trying to pull electrons. Same thing is going to happen here as well. It's going to try and pull electrons. Good functioning is what? That electrons will come up till here, and because they can't jump through the gate, correct? But here you are applying such a high potential that it actually pushes through the gate, and it actually, well, it tears the gate apart. Means there is irreversible damage. There is irreversible damage to the gate itself. Once gate is damaged, can you do anything about it? No. So do you see the potential damage that the electric discharge of your body can cause? Yes or no? Interview में क्या होता है? They ask you. First, let me finish this. This in technical language is called as ESD, or electrostatic discharge. That is called as electrostatic discharge. Okay? So, interview question. What is ESD? They will very proudly say electrostatic discharge. उसके बाद क्या होता है? सर उससे chip damage होता है. क्यों damage होता है? Remember, you guys are great at answering the first question. It's the second and the third ones which really start, it's like that strawberry wala selling strawberry at the signal. Above strawberries will be the best. You see the ones below, that's where the real... So that's how we also test. I'm telling you, this is, again, I can give a live example. You've seen the first questions were easy, right? It's the second and the third questions that really... Correct. So, the question is, point that I'm trying to make is, you say ESD. You know what's ESD. It will damage the chip. But why? This is how you're supposed to explain that, look, there is movement of there is unusual movement of charge. You'll be creating unusual movement of charge which will break through certain junctions which are not needed, and that causes irreversible damage to your device. Take the NMOS example. It's easy to understand and easy to explain. Yes or no? Explain that, you'll be fine. Okay? Is this clear? Yes or no? Okay. So, let's take it from the top. Dimension problem, how do we solve? Uske baad, what's the next issue? Loading. How do I... Buffer chain. Now, an independent problem with pads is what? ESD. No, that's the problem with any circuitry, yes or no? That's the problem with any circuitry. How do you solve that? I have not yet discussed. The problem is ESD. ESD stands for electrostatic discharge. So, that said, if I have electrostatic discharge, I have to... Now, there are two options there again. Either we work in good faith. You understand good faith? कि sir, I promise मैं chip को हाथ नहीं लगाएगा. तो उसका मेरा रिप्लाई क्या हो गया? विश्वासराव मर गया पानीपत की लड़ाई में. विश्वास नाम का चीज नहीं होता है. You understand that? There is no... as engineers, can you leave anything up to chance? Correct. Say in an elevator, I say, this elevator does not have a maximum weight sensor. Will you get into that elevator? If there are 5 people in there, you'll think twice before getting in there. Yes or no? Because you don't know if it malfunctions or not. Correct? See, these are critical conditions. As a chip also, the chip might, can you guarantee there will be no electrostatic discharge? Forget from you, from the air itself. If you know, in Bombay has greater chances of chips being damaged than, let's say, Jodhpur. Can anybody think why? Humidity. Humidity makes the air more conductive. Humidity makes the air more conductive. Well, I'm not saying conductive, more conductive. Huh? It's already an insulator, slightly more. The ionization in the air is higher. Correct. So probability of lightning in Mumbai is higher. No, probability of you getting struck by lightning is a different story. Probability of lightning is higher. You understand that? Now, why am I saying all of this? Is that ESD can occur, electrostatic discharge can occur due to any circumstance. So, the good faith option will not work. So, what will you, as a designer, what will you say? I need to solve for. So, I have to add some circuitry called as ESD protection circuitry. I have to add some circuitry called as ESD protection circuitry. So, I'm going to stop this recording here. I'll start